Like a lot of pastors' children, um, the pastors have the absolute best intentions.
Sure.
They want to be 100% parents and they want to be 100% pastor. And God is showing them how to do the best that they could possibly do on
It's
both
hard
levels.
to do both, though.
It's hard to do both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There were some nights where I wanted a bedtime story, but somebody's pastor needed them to pray for him. You feel me? So as I'm growing up, I'm like, yo, you know what? This is a life of sacrifice that I've had to adopt. I'm angry that y'all took this from me.
Wow.
I'm angry.
Wow.
Like, I don't even appreciate it like
wow.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And then on top of that,
yeah, somebody sick in the hospital.
You feel me?
Yeah, pastor. Then it's the expectation of pastor go.
Right.
That means you don't have dad for that period of time.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I grew up like understanding that this is a responsibility that I have to like. All right, because being a pastor kid is just as much of a responsibility as being a pastor.
Yeah.
Because you got to decide, yo, is them acting in, God's will more important than your needs at that time?
Wow.
It's a lot for an 11-year-old kid.
Let's get the people what they want. The Wade-O Radio Show.
What took the time in doing the record, man?
It's weird. We was talking about this earlier today, me and the homies. Naturally, I'm not a very expressive person when it comes to like my emotional state. I might be, bothered by something, but unless it's imperative that I tell you, I'm not gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying? I'm regularly like, I'm chilling. It's weird because a rapper does the opposite. A rapper's supposed to write down everything you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So my whole profession is out of my comfort zone. You feel me?
Yeah, but it translates well on the music
right,
for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you got that tone, bro.
But I'm telling you, that's why I know you. That's why I know God told me to do it.
Yeah.
Because without His help, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Because that's not who I am naturally. You feel me? So like with the album, every record is literally God exposing a side of myself that I would never tell a human being outside of music. Every track,
really,
individually, is another part of me that I would keep hidden from everybody. And I was arguing with God like most of the creative process, like, you can't be serious. Don't make me talk about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna lose every argument I have with God. You know what I'm saying? I should have been arguing. I shouldn't have been arguing in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think it made for a really relatable project, something that people could really like. Yeah, that's me too. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And it helped me be stronger. Like, yo, you know what? This is who I was, and this is what I struggle with. But I know that I have victory. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So that's what's been taking so long. It's been like torturous. Like, every word sometimes is like, I can't believe I'm putting this on record.
So we're about to see a whole other side of Selah than what we've seen from the mixtapes, is what you're telling me.
Word. It's like, it's really like I had to relearn myself from like the beginning of who I was and to who I am now. Like, there's parts of myself that I've totally forgotten about.
Sure.
That I had to revisit during this album.
Yeah.
Because people needed to know how it was, how it feels to go from here to here.
Wow.
And God used me as that, you know what I'm saying, vessel to speak that. I didn't want that because I'm like, yo, I don't want to think about that person no more.
Yeah.
But I had to put it on wax because He told me to. So that's what's been taking so long, man.
Yeah, you had to do what you had to do, bro.
Yeah, man, for real.
That's deep, though.
For real.
Yo, wow. Transparency is a very difficult thing, man. Do you have a title for this project?
Yeah, it's called, it's going to be named Memoirs of a Perfect World.
Memoirs of a Perfect World.
Yeah, man. I mean, it sounds super deep, but, memoirs is basically your memories.
Yeah.
And the album is about me rapping about the delusions that I had about life.
Wow.
Because ain't no such thing as a perfect world.
Sure.
So me writing down my memories of a perfect world is really writing my delusions down. So all the things that I thought was real and right and truth, and I'm telling you how all those things outside of God that I thought was real isn't real.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? The money, the women, music itself, even the genre outside of God.
Yeah.
Was crazy for me. Like me, I talk about in the album coming in the genre with the wrong motives, motivations.
Yeah, wow.
And even that put me in a crazy position, which the song will show you. You know what I'm saying? But you can see why I wouldn't want to tell the listener that.
Sure.
You feel me? Like, it would be looked at as a bad move, but you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do it because I was told to.
Yeah.
And because that person is still in existence somewhere else. Somebody's in the genre for the wrong reasons. They need to know what that's gonna lead to.
That's good.
You feel me? So
That's good.
it's about that, man. Memoirs of a Perfect World, bro.
Did you, even before you came to Christ, were you like in the 5%, like any of that other type stuff? Were you in that space?
Nah, I wasn't in that space. I mean, but I was always somebody that was seeking knowledge.
Yeah.
Like I love to learn. If you look through, my recently watched channels and movies, it's mostly documentaries.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I watch a lot of Discovery Channel, National Geographic History. I love those channels.
Sure.
So I mean, whatever you was talking about in the hood or in the church or whatever, I was trying to learn what made you tick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I just love that, but I wasn't necessarily into it. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of homies who was, and they always was trying to recruit me and stuff like that. But my parents is pastors, man. So
wow.
I always had the counter.
I don't think I knew that, bro.
What I'm saying? Yeah, man.
I didn't know that.
It's a different struggle, bro. That PK life, man, it puts you in a whole nother space. And there's stuff on the album about that too.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
could you see yourself following their footsteps?
I mean, I don't even want to speak for God like that. To be honest, man. To be honest, bro, because I seen firsthand what comes with that. You know what I'm saying? I got, I'll tell you something exclusive right now. Like, I got a record called Debt Collection on the album, and it talks about my life as a pastor's kid.
Wow.
And the things that I had to go through. You know what I'm saying? And how it shaped my view of a lot of things negatively.
Wow.
So, I mean, I'm not sure. And my parents did the absolute best they could. There's some things that was unavoidable, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if God puts me in that position and tells me to do it, I already know the consequences of resisting.
My pastor is like my parents' age.
Yeah.
And so his kids are like around my age.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm cool with both of them. And I see firsthand how certain things, like something that someone in the congregation or in the community may think is a small matter.
Right.
But it affects the family big time because it's like either hurtful things are said or, whatever the case may be. It's, you know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine what you about to unveil on this record, my brother.
Yeah. Like a lot of pastors' children, the pastors have the absolute best intentions.
Sure.
They want to be 100% parents and they want to be 100% pastor. And God is showing them how to do the best that they could possibly do on both levels.
It's hard to do both, though.
It's hard to do both. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There were some nights where I wanted a bedtime story, but somebody's pastor needed them to pray for him. You feel me? So as I'm growing up, I'm like, yo, you know what? This is a life of sacrifice that I've had to adopt. I'm angry that y'all took this from me.
Wow.
I'm angry.
Wow.
Y'all don't even appreciate it like that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And then on top of that,
somebody sick in the hospital.
You feel me?
Yeah, pastor. It's the expectation of pastor go.
Right.
That means you don't have dad for that period of time.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I grew up understanding that this is a responsibility that I have to all right, because being a pastor kid is just as much a responsibility as being a pastor.
Yeah.
Because you got to decide, is them acting in, God's will more important than your needs at that time?
Wow.
It's a lot for an 11-year-old kid. So when
Wow.
I grew up, I was like, yo, you know what? I'm 18. Yeah, I'm not letting y'all take nothing else from me.
Yeah.
Y'all took my parents from me. All right, cool. I'm not letting y'all take anything. And that's what made me go left for a while. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, God is faithful and he brought me back. So
I was going to say, what brought you back?
I went left and I found myself I was still, you know what I'm saying? I went to college and I was in my dorm room and I was just in a crazy depression, man. I had went all the way left, drugs, alcohol, fornication, everything you could do, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was in college on some street life too.
Wow.
Still I was in the hood, because I was just so left. I just wanted to be bad just because I had been good in my head, I just found the emptiness. I'm just I just want to take my life. And I ended up writing a letter to God, like a resignation letter.
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it was me resigning from
Yo, that's crazy, son.
The arrogance and pride, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you're going to quit your job.
I'm resigning.
But then
you turned it a 2-week notice.
Yeah, that's what happened. But then, as the letter went on, it's so crazy. God is so good that even though you're on the opposite end, you can't. He's so dope that you can't front. Yeah. So I'm Yeah, you gave me 2 parents. Yeah, you gave me a father who stayed. Yeah, you did. And it's like, yo, Dad, like, he did give me a lot.
Yeah.
And by the end of the letter, I was like, yo, you know what? Just help me.
Mm.
And the next day, I wrote another letter, and another letter, and another letter, and it turned into like 12. And like 6 of them joints turned into songs.
Wow.
And then, you know, just started writing songs from there. That's when I started doing hip hop for real, like at that point. Like I started creating from that, you know what I'm saying? So
That's crazy, bro.
yeah, man.
I've always felt like, bro, you've always had so much in you and seen so much stuff, bro. And I'm really excited to hear this record, dog. Like,
Yeah, man.
it's you might have just moved it to the top of my list right now.
Praise God, man.
Wado Radio.